Yeah. So we are discussing from chapter 5 of Srila Bhagavatamrta from verses 16 to 36. So last week we discussed about what. So last week we started chapter 5 discussion, Paravasta. So we understood what is the Paravasta, and we also concluded with the verse 16 in advance that who are all the Paravasta, who are all considered as Paravasta form. So Paravasta form is nothing but it is supremely situated. Avastha means that is situation. Paravasta means supremely situated. Means those incarnations of the Lord who has the all the appearances of the Lord, all the qualities of the Lord. The Lord's six qualities, six appearances, in complete which of the forms of the which of the incarnations of the Lord will possess. They are called Paravastha forms. So Srila Rupa Goswami is describing about various incarnations of the Lord who can be considered as the Paravastha form. So we'll discuss from verse 16 to 36 today. We will be reading the slokas. Can someone recite?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. You can hear me?
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, okay, Prabhu. Atha paravastah yatha padhi narasimha rama krishneshu sadgunyam paripuritam paravastastu te tasya deepat utpanna deepabhaktiti tatra shri narasimha prahlada हृदयाह्लदं भक्तविद्याविधारणं शरद इन्दुरुचिं वन्दे परीन्द्रवदनं हरिं न्वागीशयस्य वदने लक्ष्मीर्यस्य च वक्षसि यस्यस्ते हृदये संवित् तं नरसिंहम् अहं भजे न गम्भीर घरितरम्ब स्तम्भिताम्भोज सम्भवः संरम्भः स्तम्भपुत्रस्य मुनिनोजृम्भितो नृपे यथा श्रीसप्तमे सतवदूत झलद परपतन् गृहश्च तद्धृष्टि विमुष्ट रोचिषः अम्बोधयः स्वसहत निहृदभीत धिगिभ विचुक्षुषुः ध्यायुस्तत् सतक्षिप्त विमनशङ्कुला प्रोत्सर्पत क्षम च पदभिधि प्रभु पदबीपिदित शैलः समुत्पेतुरमुशरं हसं तत्तेजसखं कहुबो न रे जिरे. हरे कृष्ण.
Yeah. Verse 22 onwards.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nugropi anugraye vayam swabhaktanam nrukeshari va swapotanam anye shambhugra vikramaha. 23. Asya Shri Divya Simhasya Paramananda Tundilaha Shriman Narsimha Tapanyam Mahima Prakatikrita. 24. Narsimhasya Bhavedvaso Analoke Mahatmanaha Sarvo Parishtakcha Tata Vishnu Loke प्रकीर्तितः श्रीराघवेन्द्र 25 श्रीराघवेन्द्र पर्वतो अप्येष निशेष मधुर्यामृतचन्द्रमा भाति सद्गुणसङ्गेन तुङ्गश्रीरघुपुङ्गवः 26 पद्मे नवदामहे महेशनं हर कदो न कन्दनं जानकी हृदयानन्दचन्दनं रघुनन्दनं 27 अस्य जन्मोत्सवं ब्रूते श्रीरामचरणदीपिका हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी
Verse 28 onwards.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Can I read, Prabhu? You are able to hear
Please,
me?
ma'am. Yeah. Please, ma'am.
Text verse 27, 28. Asya janmotsavam bhrute Shri Ramarchana Chandrika Uchaste Graha Panchake Suragurau Sendo Navamyam Titau Lagne Karkatake Purnarvasu Yude Mesham Gate Pushani निर्धग्धुम निखिला पलासा समिदो मेदयाधयो यारनेर आविर्भूतम अभूतपूर्वा विभवम यत्किंचित एकम महा टेक्स्ट 29 त्यक्त्वा सुदुष्ट्या जसुरेप्सिता राज्यलक्ष्मी धर्मिष्ठ आर्या वचसा यदगादरण्यम् मायामृदं दयितायेप्सितम् अन्वद्भावा वन्दे महापुरुषते चरणारविन्दम् 30 श्रीनवमे नेदं यशो रघुपते सुरयान्नयायता लीला तनोरधिकसाम्य विमुक्तदाम्नः रक्षो वदो जलधि बन्धनम् अस्त्रपूगैः किं तस्य शत्रुहनने कपया सहायाः 31 यस्यामलं नृप साधुषु यशो अधुनापि गायन्ति अघग्नं ऋषयो दिग्भेन्द्रपथं तं नाकापालवसुपाल किरीटजुष्टा पादाम्बुजं रघुपतिं शरणं प्रपद्ये 31 Hare Krishna.
Last slide. Last 5 slokas.
32 अत्ता प्रकटिता लीलतनु लीलामयी तनुः येन तस्येति साम्येति स्वार्थे स्यान् प्रत्ययो मतः धामा स्वरूपं विज्ञेयम् अधिकेन समेन च विमुक्तं धामा यस्येति महात्म्यं सर्वतो अधिकम् यस्याधिका समश्चात्र क्वपि नास्ति निश्चयः नाकापाला महेन्द्रद्य वसुपा वसुधाधिपाः 5.34 वासुदेवादिरूपाणाम् अवतारा प्रकीर्तितः विष्णु धर्मोत्तरे राम लक्ष्मणाध्याक्रमादमि 35 पद्मे तु रामो भगवान् नारायण इति ऋतः शेषचक्रं च शङ्खश्च क्रमात्स्यु लक्ष्मणादयः 36 मध्यदेशा स्थिता अयोध्या पुरे अस्य वसति स्मृता महावैकुण्ठलोके च राघवेन्द्रस्य कीर्तिता हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Mataji. Very nice presentation. So, this verse 16 we discussed last week, rather we touched base last week about the Paravasta form. So Lord's incarnations, among the various incarnations of the Lord, Rupa Goswami is mentioning that there are only 3 of his incarnations are considered as Paravasa forms. So last week we discussed various aspects of how Lord Krishna is not an incarnation, but he is a Swayam Bhagavan. So all the incarnations are coming from him. That Rupa Goswami has established the proof with the help of various evidences or various slokas from different Puranas and scriptures. Now, in today's sloka, this verse 16, 5.16, he is going to establish that among the various incarnations of the Lord, the 3 incarnations are considered to be para avastha. Para avastha means, now, as I mentioned, these incarnations are in a very supremely situated incarnations. Means they have all the appearances, they carry all the qualities, they exhibit all the qualities, or they possess all the qualities. The exhibiting is different, but they possess all the qualities of the Lord, all the 6 qualities of the Lord in full. So these are only 3 incarnations of the Lord were mentioned by Rupa Goswami. So that he is giving a proof also, scriptural evidence also. He is mentioning that in Uttarakhand of Padma Purana 226 and chapter 42nd verse, it is mentioned that according to Padma Purana, Nrsimha, Ramachandra and Krishna are complete in all 6 qualities. They are para-avastha forms of Supreme Lord, like lamps lit from another lamp. So it means that there is no difference. There is no difference between either Nrsimha, Ramachandra or Krishna. These are the forms have complete all the 6 qualities in full. But thing is, they may not exhibit it all the times, but they possess all the qualities in full. That is, that's why Rupa Goswami is bringing out this point from Padma Purana, highlighting that they are Paravasa forms. So here in the purport, author is mentioning that perfections of Godhead are exhibited to different degrees by various expansions of Krishna, who alone fully exhibit all the 6 categories of perfection. The 3 most glorious forms of the Supreme Person are designated in Vedic texts as Paravasa, most perfect. The Lord exhibits his perfection in progressively greater competencies in Nrsimha as Nrsimha, as Ramachandra, and finally in his ultimate form as Krishna. So Krishna, as we know, he is a Supreme Person of it, and he always carries these qualities in full. But when he incarnates into this material world, now the discussion is about which of the incarnations they carry almost near or the most qualities, all the qualities in most proportionate. It is may not be 100%, but mostly they carry all the qualities in full. So these are the qualities which these are the incarnations which mentioned by scriptures. So in verse 17, of these 3, Sri Nrsimha is praised as follows. I offer my homage to Lord Hari, who has the face of a lion. He delights Prahlada's heart and tears apart his devotee's ignorance. His luster is like that of autumn moon. Now we are going to discuss in coming slokas why these incarnations are considered to be Paravasa. So Rupa Goswami is going to take out the different slokas, different references from other scriptures to prove that why Lord Nrsimhadeva and Lord Ramachandra and Lord Krishna also, when he comes as his own incarnation in this material world, why they are considered as Paravasa form. He makes an attempt to bring scriptural references to that. So here we started discussion about Lord Nrsimhadev. So in verse 18, the goddess of speech resides in his mouth, and goddess Lakshmi on his chest. Complete knowledge resides in his heart. I worship that Lord Nrsimha. So he gives a scriptural evidence. So this sloka and this previous sloka, this verse 17 and 18, were taken by Rupa Goswami from Sridhara Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, the commentary of Srimad Bhagavatam by Sridhara Swami is mentioned by Sridhar Swami is highlighting here that how Lord Nrsingadev is carrying or possessing the qualities of the Lord, all the six appellations of the Lord in full. So here he says in verse 18, he says that God of a speech resides in his mouth, and goddess Lakshmi on his chest. Complete knowledge resides in his heart. I worship that Lord Nrsingadev. So the goddess of Lakshmi, goddess of speech, Saraswati, Mother Saraswati resides in his mouth. So that means there is nothing beyond Lord's, like whatever he says, the knowledge, everything resides residing in his mouth, and complete knowledge also resides in his heart. So that indicates that all appliances, either in terms of knowledge or in terms of appliances, where appliances like wealth or other appliances, everything is residing in his chest or in his mouth or in his heart. So this is again a reference was taken from Sridhar Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Text 1. On that particular verse, Sridhar Swami's commentary highlights this aspect of opulence of Lord Nrsingadev. So here in the previous verse also he says that I offer homage to Lord Hari, who has the face of lion. He delights Prahlada's heart and tears apart devotees' ignorance. So this also indicates the opulence of the Lord, that one who worships the Lord Nrsingadev's form, all his ignorance is completely destroyed. So that's why we worship him for as Vigna Vinashaka Nrsingadev. So all the obstacles in our even devotion, or even ignorance, sometimes ignorance will be an obstacle in our spiritual progress. Everything is destroyed by Lord Nrsingadev, one who completely surrenders to him. So that shows his opulence as per Rupa Goswami. So as soon as the Lord Nrsinga began his deep roar, lotus born Brahma became stunned. Thus the sage disclosed to the king the fury of the Lord who was born from the pillar. So here also Lord's opulence in the form of how even a roar of the Lord shakes complete creation. Not just a creation, even the secondary creator Brahma also got stunned and he also got shaken. So that is the power of Lord's roar. So here it is mentioned that the sage disclosed to the king the fury of the Lord. So here the sage means the discussion between sage Narada and Yudhishthira Maharaj is again discussed here. And this also taken from Sridhar Swami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, last two verses and even this verse also. So this highlights, Sridhar Swami is highlighting what is the opulence of the Lord, how strong the Lord Nrsingadev is. So here with this he is highlighting the opulence, the strength, the opulence in the form of strength, how strong Lord is. Even his roar is so strong and it creates the whole creation is getting shattered. So that Sridhar Swami is highlighting here about the opulence of the Lord in the form of his strength. So in verse 20, as described in the 7th canto, the hair on Lord Nrsingadeva's head shook the clouds and scattered them here and there. Here and there. His glaring eyes stole the effulgence of the luminaries in the sky, and his breathing agitated the oceans. Because of his roaring, the elephants guarding the directions abandoned their posts. So again, Sridhar Swami, no, it's not Sridhar Swami. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 8th chapter, 32nd verse. It is described how the Lord Nrsimhadev's appearance, and when he just shook his head, then how the hair on his Lord's head destroys, because his gigantic personality, he just he shook his head, that clears, that shatters the whole cloud, and everything which is there in the sky, everything is completely scattered. So that shows how gigantic personality of the Lord Nrsimhadev is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. So here he says that because of the pressure of so his glaring eyes stole the effulgence of luminaries in the sky. So even the sun and moon also completely become kind of not visible in front of the Lord's glaring eyes. So such a glaring eyes Lord Nrsimhadev had, that even the illumination of even sun and moon also is not been seen by anybody. And his breathing agitated the oceans. Because of his roaring, elephants guarding their directions abandoned their post. So if you remember, when we are discussing about the Vedic cosmology seminar, so in that we discussed that the whole the creation, the Bhumandala was totally guarded by the elephants in different directions. So here the reference is given about those elephants guarding the different directions of the Bhumandala. They also got completely afraid, and they abandoned their positions. So such a high or a heavy roaring of the Lord is described here. So in verse 21, airplanes were thrown into outer space and upper planetary systems by hair on Lord Nrsimhadev's head. Because of the pressure of Lord's lotus feet, the earth appeared to slip from its position, while hills and mountains sprang up due to his intolerable force. Because of Lord's bodily effulgence, both the sky and all the directions diminished in their natural illumination. So again, this is again description showing Lord's opulence. So all these verses we are discussing that even the aeroplanes in which the demigods were traveling, so they are completely thrown out from their outer space, and not only outer space, completely even upper planetary systems also completely got shattered by the hair on the Lord Nrsimhadev's head. And just because of Lord was dancing, fighting with Hiranyakashipu, so the pressure of Lord's lotus feet on the earth is Bhumandala is appeared to be slipping out from its position, because the whole Bhumandala, as we saw in the previous seminar also, that it is resting on the hood of Lord Anantashesha. So even that, because of the pressure of Lord's lotus feet on the earth, the Bhumandala is getting appeared to be slipping from its position. So that by this actually author is exhibiting the strength of Lord Nrsimhadev. So that is how he is taking us to the direction that his strength is unimaginable, and that is how he is also considered, or he is considered as the Paravasa form. His strength is equal or similar to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna's original form. So that is what Rupa Goswami is trying to highlight in this slokas. So here in the end, he says, because of Lord's bodily effulgence also, the effulgence coming out of the body of the Lord, it diminished the natural illumination, the sun and moon, which are there in the sky. The illumination also got completely diminished. Such a bright and effulgent personality of Lord Nrsimhadev's is being discussed here. So in verse 22, although Lord Narakesari is very ferocious, he is not at all fearsome to his devotees. With them, he behaves like a female lion with their cubs. But for others, his form is very terrible. Again, this is Sridhar Goswami's commentary on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 9, verse 1. So here he exhibits the quality of the Lord, that Lord is appears to be fearful for the enemies, but he'll be he's like father to his children. So here the analogy example is given about the female lion, how she behaves with the cubs. So the same female, same lion, how it catches the deer or any other animal ferociously. So that is compared here. But for devotees, he is not at all fearful, because he shows the merciful glance on his devotees, and devotees are very. He shows very compassion towards the devotees, and devotees exchanges the loving relationship. Like Prahlad Maharaj is the example we saw when he appeared to kill Hiranyakashipu. So that is in verse 22. So author explains that it might seem impossible to approach the fearsome form of the Lord Nrsimha to offer personal service. As stated above, however, his otherwise scorching presence is like cool, soothing moonshine for his devotees. So this we saw in Prahlad Maharaj's example also, when everybody was not ready to approach Lord Nrsimha, including Brahma, Shiva, and all the other demigods. So it was Lord Prahlad Maharaj. He without any fear, he approached the Lord and made him cool down from his anger. So that shows the dealings of devotees with the Lord. And Lord is not at all be ferocious. Even the form of Lord Nrsimha, so he is so ferocious to the demons, but for devotees he is not. That is verse 22. In verse 23, it is described that the all blissful glories of this divine lion incarnations are revealed in the venerable Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. So, Sri Rupa Goswami is not giving any more details about Lord Nrsimhadev. Here, he is giving a reference of which is, scripture glorifies his opulences is being mentioned here. So Rupa Goswami says that in a Nrsimha Tapan Upanishad, very detailed explanation is given. Those who want to, he mentions here the purport that those who want to know more about the glories of Lord Nrsimhadev, that qualify him as one of the three Paravasta forms of the Supreme Lord, can consult the Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. So in the Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad, so a very detailed explanation is given about opulence of the Lord Nrsimhadev. From that we can understand about how the Lord Nrsimhadev can be considered as one of. So there actually it exhibits. It is the everything is within Lord Nrsimhadev, because Mother Goddess of fortune, Mother Lakshmi is with him, and the knowledge is in the heart, and everything is there with him. So he is full in all his opulences and full in all the qualities. But the only thing is, what is to be exhibited, that particular incarnation, only those qualities, those opulences he exhibits. Otherwise, he possesses all the qualities and all the opulences in full. So detailed description about the various opulences of the Lord Nrsimhadev was mentioned in Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. So that is Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. Actually, this is part of Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda, one of the part is Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad. So there the detailed description is given. So in verse 24, the Supreme Soul Nrsimhadev is said to reside on Janaloka and also on Vishnuloka, beyond the material universe. So again, those who attended this Goloka seminar can remember that in Vaikuntha planet there are innumerable abodes of Lord's different incarnations. All the incarnations of the Lord have their abode in Vaikuntha. And even Lord Nrsimhadev also has an abode. Those worshipping, the devotees who worship Lord Nrsimhadev in this particular form, they will go back to spiritual world and serve Lord Nrsimhadev in that particular abode. So he is residing in Vishnu Loka, and also in this material world, he has his presence. He resides in Janaloka, and residents of Janaloka, they worship him in that particular abode. So that is in verse 24. So here we conclude, I think verse 24 concludes about Lord Nrsimhadev. So not many details are given. Rupa Goswami says that further details we can get from Nrsimha Tapani Upanishad about the opulence of the Lord. So idea of this description by Rupa Goswami is for us to understand that very briefly he is explained about the opulences of Lord Nrsimhadev. He is no less compared to the opulences of Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. So he has all the opulences with him, and only thing is he exhibits only those opulences which are required in that particular incarnation. So that was in verse 24. And then verse 25, now see Raghavendra, the exalted hero of Raghu's Raghu dynasty, displays all excellent qualities even more fully than Lord Nrsimha. He is the moon of enchanting nectar. So, out of three Paravasa forms, the first Paravasa form about Lord Nrsimhadev was described by Sri Rupa Goswami. Now he is continuing the description of second Paravasa form about Sri Ramachandra. So here is Rupa Goswami mentioning that the exalted hero of Raghu dynasty, he displays all the excellent qualities even more fully. So it doesn't mean that Lord Nrsimhadev has less opulences and Ramachandra has more opulences. It means that he doesn't display, Lord Nrsimhadev doesn't display the opulences in full, and Raghavendra, Ramachandra's, Lord Rama's incarnation, he displays more opulences, more qualities than what Lord Nrsimhadev has displayed. So it means that they already possess, but they don't display the qualities or opulences. What is required to display in the particular incarnation, those qualities or opulences were exhibited. So here, Lord Rama's incarnation, it exhibits more qualities and more opulences. But at the same time, if you see very carefully, Lord Rama's incarnation, the one opulence which Lord Nrsimhadev didn't display, which is what is that? Renunciation. So renunciation is something which Lord Nrsimhadev's incarnation was not exhibiting, but he carries all these opulences. But that particular opulence Lord Nrsimhadev didn't exhibit. Even Lord Ramachandra exhibits in the form of he renounced his kingdom just for the sake of a word given to his father, and he goes to the forest and stays there for so many years. So that opulence was also disclosed or exhibited by Lord Ramachandra in his incarnation. So Lord Nrsimha is a Prabhava Bhuma, infinitely powerful, infinitely powerful, and Lord Ramachandra is Madhurya Bhuma, infinitely attractive. So that he is a comparison between Lord Ramachandra and Lord Nrsimhadev's incarnations is being given in this purport by author. He says that Lord Nrsimha is Prabhava Bhuma. So it means it is infinitely powerful. So the power of the Lord is exhibited, the strength of the Lord is exhibited in Lord Nrsimha's incarnation, whereas the beauty of the Lord is exhibited in Lord Rama's. Lord Rama is very, very attractive. So that opulence is exhibited by Lord Ramachandra in his incarnation. So that is a Madhurya Bhuma, infinitely attractive. So that is in verse 25. In verse 26, again from Padma Purana, I glorify the Supreme Lord who broke Lord Shiva's bow. He is a sandal paste of joy, decorating the heart of Janaki and delight of Raghu dynasty. So again here, by referring the verse from Padma Purana, Rupa Goswami is highlighting the strength of the Lord. Though compared to Lord Nrsimhadev, he didn't exhibit the powerful and the powerful structure of the body, but the strength is exhibited by Lord Rama by breaking Lord Shiva's bow, that no one even can lift that bow. Whereas Lord Rama is easily lifted and broke the Lord Shiva's bow. The Shiva Dhanasu during the marriage with Sita, just before marriage with Sita, that pastime was exhibited by the Lord, and with that he exhibited the strength. So that reference is being given by Rupa Goswami to show the opulence of the Lord, which is no less than the Supreme Personality of God, Swayam Bhagavan's opulence. So that is in verse 26. So verse 27, the book Sri Ramacharana Chandrika describes the festive occasion of his birth. So nothing much is described here in the purport. So he is giving a reference of the book Ramacharana, Ramarchana Chandrika, not Ramacharana, Ramarchana Chandrika. So that describes the festive occasion of his birth. How glorious the Lord's birth, and what are the various symptoms were exhibited when the Lord has appeared. What are the changes it happened in the nature when Lord has appeared. All those things were very detailedly described in this scripture. That is in verse 27. And verse 28, on the ninth day, lunar day, with 5 planets in exalted position, the moon and Jupiter conjoined on the horizon in Cancer, and in Nakshatra Punarvasu, and with the sun in Aries, a certain greatly effulgent person with unprecedented opulence appeared like a sacrificial fire from the pure Arani wood of Ayodhya to burn to the ashes all the palasa fuel wood of the flesh-eating demons. So here the description of Lord's appearance was given. What was the natural symptoms or indications in the nature when the Lord appeared is mentioned here. So the auspicious circumstances surrounding Lord Ramachandra's birth tell much about his divinity. So these are all Rupa Goswami is explaining to highlight the opulence of the Lord. When the Lord appears in this material world, how even Mother Nature and everything, because everything is working under the direction of the Lord. They all, because all the demigods also appear before the Lord appears in this material world. How everyone is welcoming the Lord is being described here, and with that, Rupa Goswami is highlighting that he is the supreme personality of Godhead, and he carries all the opulences of the Lord in original. So, outlining the astrological configuration of the heavens at the moment of his advent, the guidebook on his worship, the Ramarchan Chandrika states that Lord Rama appeared from his blessed abode Ayodhya like a sacrificial fire ignited from sacred kindling wood. As the fire of sacrifice burns to ashes all the fuel wood placed into it, so Lord Ramachandra destroyed the entire race of man-eaters. The word palasa means meat eater, but also refers to one of the 7 kinds of wood used for fuel in Vedic yagnas. So when Lord has appeared, the analogy was given here that how the sacrificial fire will burn all the wood into ashes. The Lord's appearance also is compared to the destroying the entire race of man-eaters. Means all the demons were completely destroyed, or they would be destroyed by appearance of the Lord in this material world is described here. So again, the various astronomical circumstances were mentioned here. The position of the moon and Jupiter, and about his Lord's star, all this is explained. It is told that at the time the Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn were each in constellations of their exaltation, respectively Aries, Capricorn, Cancer, Pisces, and Libra. So these are all astronomical indications were mentioned. So that is in verse 28. So verse 29, from the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, O Mahapurusha, I worship your lotus feet. As the most faithful follower of religious principle, you honored the words of your respected father and went to the forest, abandoning royal splendor so opulent that the demigods desired it. In the forest, you chased after the illusory deer desired by your beloved consort. So the golden deer pastime is being described here. So with this explanation, actually, which opulence the Lord's which opulence is being glorified here is again the renunciation. So he no, he was not at all bothered about the kingdom of which we are supposed to become a king, and he just left everything just based on the word of his father, and he renounced everything and went to forest. So with this, Rupa Goswami is highlighting the opulence of the Lord, the renunciation. So This is in verse 29. So here it mentioned that so here Karabhajana Muni offered his homage to the Supreme Person who appeared as the son of Dasharatha and who chased after the golden deer his beloved wife wanted him to catch. The verse can alternatively be taken as Karabhajana's description of the Lord rather than a homage directed to him, in which case the word Dharmishta is directed to Nimi Maharaj. So that is description is given. So here the Lord's glories is being continued to described by Rupa Goswami in verse 30, and in the ninth canto the factual glory of Supreme Personality of Godhead Lord Ramachandra, who at the demigod's request descended in a spiritual form to perform various transcendental pastimes, is not represented by his killing Ravana with showers of arrows or building a bridge over the ocean, because his essential potency cannot be surpassed or even equaled. Indeed, he did not need the monkey's help to gain victory over Ravana. So here in ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described that Lord actually, when he appears with the purpose of delivering the fallen conditioned souls. He gives an opportunity for every living entity to participate in his Leela, either in person, like he has given opportunity to various monkeys. Here it doesn't mean that he really needs the help of the monkeys, but he is giving opportunity for the monkeys to offer even a smallest possible help. The same way, he is giving opportunity for all of us also. By hearing about his glories, we get benefited. That benefit what we get is not anyway less than benefit of monkeys who participated in this direct service of the Lord. So when we hear about the glories of the Lord, we also get the exactly same benefit of what those who directly helped the Lord when he appeared in this material world is being described here. So this verse and next verse was spoken by Sukadeva Goswami. Lord Ramachandra, the personality of Godhead, descended from the spiritual world at the request of Brahma and other demigods to remove the burden created by demons threatening the earth. So even Lord Brahma and the other demigods, when they prayed Lord to appear to reduce the burden of the earth, for that actually he don't have to come personally to kill Ravana. So that is not his purpose. Killing Ravana he can do even from there. The purpose is that by killing Ravana, he is giving an opportunity for so many other living entities to participate in this Leela, and also so many other living entities like us to hear about his Leela, so that we also get benefited and get rid of all our material miseries in this world. He managed to, his fame was endured for millions of years, but not because he managed to perform such feats as bridging the ocean. He accepted help from Sugriva and his monkeys army only because it suited his pleasure. So, the Lord's accepting help from monkeys or bridging the ocean, it is actually not required. But he gets pleasure in doing so, so he accepted the service. It doesn't mean that they helped the Lord, but he engaged them in the service so that he wants them to get benefit, and by thus he gets a pleasure. So all the servants of the Lord, they are ready to do anything for the pleasure of the Lord. That aspect is being described here in this verse. Okay, so in verse 31, Lord Ramachandra's spotless name and fame, which vanquished sinful reaction, spread out all the direction like the ornamental clothes of elephants who support the earth from the 8 directions. Up till today, great saintly persons glorify his characteristics in the assemblies of great emperors. All saintly kings and demigods worship the Lord by bowing down with their helmets. Let me offer my obeisance unto his lotus feet. So these verses in praise of ancient avatar Lord Ramachandra were sung by Sukadeva Goswami only 5,000 years ago, even though Lord appeared millions of years ago. Just as the decorative clothes and the backs of elephants who hold up the earth spread to the limits of the direction, the fame of the Lord extends to the limits of time and space. The rulers of heaven and earth offer themselves at his lotus feet. So, with this, Rupa Goswami is highlighting that Lord's opulence is not limited only to Ayodhya or limited only to this earth or limited only to this creation. Everywhere, the whole creation, different parts of the creation, everywhere the Lord's glories is being discussed. Is not only in this earthly planet, even this demigods also worship Lord in their respective abodes is being described here in this sloka. This is taken from Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 11th chapter. So in verse 32, some Karikas explaining these verses, the word Ata does not mean that he has assumed his form, but means that he has revealed it. Leela Tanu indicates that his transcendental body engages in many enjoyable pastimes. The word Samya, the suffix ya, preserves the meaning of the original word Sama, and the word Dhamma in this context means essential nature. The essential potency is without superior or equal, and his glories are beyond those of all others. Certainly, in this world, no one is greater than or equal to him. So, the different words which are explained here are coming from the previous slokas. So that Rupa Goswami he's mentioning that they are karikas. Karikas means like last week also, last class also we discussed. They are the supporting words to prove the point. So here some of the words is mentioned here. The previous slokas coming all from the previous slokas. The word Ata does not mean that Lord has assumed his form. So when Lord comes to this material world, the word is used Ata, which actually means that he is taking the form of the Lord Ramachandra when he appeared in this material world. But actually, it is not assumed the form of Lord Ramachandra, but he revealed that that form. So this means that these forms, all these forms are eternally existing. That particular form is being revealed to the people in this material world when Lord comes in that form to this earthly planet. The same way, Leelatanu indicates that transcendental body engages in many enjoyable pastimes. So Lord engages in various pastimes for the two reasons. One is for his enjoyment, his pleasure, and second one is he gets a pleasure when his children, like all of us, gets delivered from this material world by hearing those pastimes. So that's why the word Leelatanu very significantly used or explained by Rupa Goswami. The same way the word Samya, the word suffix preserves the meaning of original word Sama, and the word Dhamma in this context means essential nature. So the Lord's original nature, the potency is never reduced, even when he takes the form of a human being in this as a human being he comes to this material world. His original potency is always remains, and whether he comes to this material world or he is in the spiritual world, all his potencies remain same. And it is explained here that in this world, this material world, no one is greater than or equal to him. Whichever lila he does, whichever incarnation he takes in this material world, no one is greater than or equal to the Supreme Lord is being explained here in this verse. The rulers of heaven are the king Indra and other demigods, and the rulers of Vasu are earthly kings. So this again coming from the previous sloka. It is further description is given how the people in the different heavenly planets are glorifying the Lord's glories, Lord Ramachandra's glories. Even the demigods in heavenly planets and also rulers of Vasu means earthly kings. Everybody is glorifying the Lord Ramachandra's qualities that is described here in this sloka. In verse 34, according to Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, Rama, Lakshmana and their bodies, according to Vishnu Dharmottara Purana, Rama, Lakshmana and their brothers, sorry, not bodies. The brothers are avatars of 4 forms of Supreme Lord, beginning with Vasudeva. So this also, if you remember from that the seminar which we took for what is it? Goloka seminar and Chaturvya seminar, which we discussed some time back. So there we discussed that the 4 different forms of the Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrugna, they are non-different from the Adi Chaturvya expansions. Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Anuruddha. These 4 come to this material world as Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, and Shatrughna. That is mentioned in Vishnu Dharmottara Purana. So Rama is Vasudeva, Lakshmana is Sankarshana, Bharata is Pradyumna, and Shatrughna is Aniruddha. That is described by Rupa Goswami in this sloka. But according to Padma Purana, however, Rama is Supreme Lord Narayana, while Lakshmana and his other brothers are Sesha and Narayana's disc and conch respectively. Either way, they are non-different because Lord Narayana is again coming from the Chaturviha only that we discussed how Lord Chaturviha is expanded, comes as the Lord Narayana, all those things we discussed before. So either way, Padma Purana and Vishnu Purana both are right. The originally the source is Krishna. Krishna is expanded into Balram, Balram expanded into Adi Chaturviha. So finally it comes to Narayana, and Narayana's Narayana in his original form is Rama, and Lakshmana is Shesha, and his other paraphernalia is Lakshmana and Bharata and Shatrughna. That is described in Padma Purana. So with this, actually, Rupa Goswami is highlighting that he is non-different from the Supreme Lord, and he carries exactly the same appearances of the Supreme Lord Krishna. The scriptures say that Lord Raghavendra's residence is in the city of Ayodhya, located in central India. He is also said to reside in the Supreme Vaikuntha Loka. So this also we saw in Goloka seminar that Lord has abode above Vaikuntha Loka. Actually, everything is called Vaikuntha. When you say Vaikuntha Loka, actually it means that here the spiritual world. So we saw that when Gopakumara is traveling from Vaikuntha to Goloka Vrindavana, so on the way he goes to Ayodhya, where actually eternally Lord Ramachandra, along with his brothers and his devotees, even Lord Anjaneya also resides there, serving the Lord, Supreme Lord. So that is eternally where Lord is residing. And in this material world also, when Lord appeared, he appeared in Ayodhya of in India. So that is in verse 36. That is the last sloka of the day. So here it mentioned that Lord Ramachandra and his brothers reside eternally in Ayodhya, both on the earth as well as the topmost region of the spiritual world. So that is mentioned here. Although Bhagavatam statement beginning Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsha may seem to indicate that Ramachandra and Narasimha are typical Amsha in our avatars, the above descriptions of them imply that they are not. So Rupa Goswami is slightly contradicting or slightly going beyond Srimad Bhagavatam's very famous verse 1.3.28. Ete Chamsa Kala Pumsa Krishnasu Bhagavan Swayam. So there it mentions that Rama and Narasimha are their incarnation. But here he says that based on the descriptions given in other scriptures, they are not they are not just only the incarnations. They are beyond the incarnation. When it is beyond incarnations, it means that they carry exactly the same potency. Only these two incarnations were described, not any other incarnation. Only these two incarnations, they carry exactly the same potency. It means that they are not just as the incarnation. They are above the incarnations. Any other incarnation of the Lord is what is highlighted here. So it mentions that it seems to indicate that Ramachandra and Narasimha are typical Amsha avatars. The above descriptions of them imply that they are not. So they are above just incarnations. So they carry all the potencies of the Lord. So with these slokas, Rupa Goswami is trying to establish about the Paravasa forms of the Lord. So next session we'll discuss about the Lord's appearance as Krishna by himself, how that Lord exhibited the various appearances, and Rupa Goswami is trying to prove that when he incarnates as a Krishna, he is carrying all the appearances and proving the fact that he is one of Paravasa form and also Swayam Bhagavan. That will be revealed in the next slokas. So with this, today's slokas session is finished. So if we have any questions or comments, can discuss for a few minutes. Yes, Prabhu. Radhakrishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Dandatram Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Nicely explained and also given a lot of references from Bhagavatam and other scripture. Prabhuji, my question is in the second slide, you have mentioned that speech of goddess is residing on Lord Narsimhadev. I mean, how
That shows
I
that
mean,
he is a
Lord
source, Prabhu. He is a source.
is a source.
The goddess of knowledge, goddess of Mother Saraswati is the source is Lord Nrsimhadev. That is what is highlighted.
Okay. And okay, Prabhu, this is understood. The Para Avastha, I mean, it has been said that Lord Narasimha, Lord Rama, and Lord Krishna. So, if you see Prabhu, in a two-handed form, Lord is also in the form of Vamana. So, why Vamana is not considered as Paravastha, Prabhu? This is one thing. Second thing, is it like this that Lord, when he is with his energy, then only he is in Paravastha, like with Krishna, there is Radharani. With Lord Ramachandra, it is the Sita, and with Narsimhadev, we say it is Lakshmi Narsimha. But Varaha is as a Yathi, I mean, like, as a Brahmana, so he doesn't have. So how we take this?
Not like that, Prabhu. I don't think that is like that, because whether he carries or his concert comes with him or not, but his concert is always with him in his heart. So externally, his concert is coming with him, doesn't make him Paravastha, and in absence of the concert, make him less Paravastha, less than Paravastha. No, that will not. But the point here, Rupa Goswami is saying that these incarnations carry all the appearances, like the description is mentioned about the strength of Lord Ramachandra, strength of Lord Nrsimhadeva was described here. Each one may have different appearances. Actually, they have all the appearances, but they don't carry the appearances in full. The completeness of all the appearances may be lacking in some of the incarnation, but author is highlighting that these two incarnations have appearances in full. That's why they are called Paravastha form. Maybe in coming slokas, the more description is given, because this chapter has more than 500 slokas. More description may come. So let us see what author has kept in store for us to understand more about these Paravastha forms.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions, comments? Anything? Autana Mataji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
No more
Krishna,
questions. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, to ask something?
Hare Krishna. Yeah.
Mataji.
Prabhuji, see, actually,
Go ahead, Mataji.
that Rama and Narasimha, you told that three of them are this avatar, but when people are, when the devotees are telling, if you are praying more to Narasimha, you will go to Narasimha Loka, Rama to Rama Loka, Krishna to Krishna Loka, like that it is, or not non-different you told here, right?
Yes, Mataji. Actually, the worshipping of Lord Nrsimhadeva, Lord Ramachandra, Lord Krishna, there is no difference. It is only the mood that our eternal nature of the eternal nature of the soul, in which every soul has a different relationship, that will be exhibited, that will be revealed at the appropriate time. Maybe someone who is like Murari Gupta's story from Lord Chaitanya Leela. So, he was a worshipper of Lord Ramachandra. So even Chaitanya Mahaprabhu insists that no, you worship Krishna. So he says, I cannot give up worshipping Lord Ramachandra, because that is his internal, that is the nature of the soul. He has that relationship with the Lord Ramachandra. There is nothing wrong. Yes, those who worship Lord Ramachandra will go to Ayodhya in spiritual world. Those worship Lord Nrsimhadev, because that is the eternal nature of the soul. That particular relationship of the soul, that cannot be changed. one who is in that established in that particular nature, he is connected to the Lord in that particular nature, and he worships Lord Nrsimhadev only. So there is nothing wrong, and the either Nrsimhaloka is not inferior to any other spiritual abodes, or nor Ayodhya is inferior to any other spiritual abode. Each soul has a relationship. That relationship will be revealed, and he will be connected to the Lord in that particular relationship, and he'll go to that particular abode. There's no inferior or superior.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Prabhu, so if you go to other than Krishna Loka, you will be come back like that. Anything is there? You will come back to the world again
No.
to go to Krishna Loka?
No, see, Mataji, once we go to spiritual world, even to the Vaikuntha, when we are in Vaikuntha also, we don't have to come back to this material world. Once we go to spiritual world, but because see, when the one who goes to say, for example, Ayodhya, for him, Ayodhya is ultimate, is the highest abode. They are not aware that there is something beyond Ayodhya, is something exists. If you remember from Gopakumara's story also, the residents of Ayodhya think that they are in the highest platform. So because they are in full. Their happiness is full. The ecstasy what they're enjoying is full. So they don't realize that something beyond this exists. It is like a small glass bottle and bigger glass bottle. The water is full. The water, when it is full, they know that, okay, I'm very happy, extremely happy. So they don't have to come back again and again to go back to Golok Vrindavana, because their nature is to worship the Lord in that particular relationship, and they go to that particular abode in that relation, worship in that particular relationship. So they don't realize, and they don't think that they have to go to Golok Vrindavana, or that they have to come back and go. That opportunity, that this one is not existing only. But only in Gopakumara's story, there's a different, because he was established in a particular relationship. He is not happy in any of other abodes. So he knows that something beyond exists. Whereas the residents of Vaikuntha, they don't know that something beyond is exists. Ayodhya exists, they don't know. Goloka exists, they don't know. They can't realize that. So because that in that particular relationship, they are extremely happy. They are fully ecstatic, and they're serving the Lord. They get the happiness in full. So they don't have to come back, or they don't have to go up also.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Then I can understand that it depends upon the soul's relationship with the Lord, right? Okay, thank you so much, Prabhu. Nicely explained. Thank you so much. Pranams.
There is no more questions. Bhagavatamrta, shall we conclude the session?
Prabhu, Hare Krishna, in addition to Mataji's question only. So like long back, I heard, I don't know whose lecture, Prabhu, some Maharaj's lecture only, that if we go to Nrsimhaloka, we'll have to come back again.
No, Mataji.
So this doubt I've been having, not now, Prabhu, it's been for so many years I have this doubt, because
Mataji, see, it is very, very clear that any abode in the spiritual world we go, other than Brahmajyoti. Brahmajyoti is a border. Once we cross that and go to spiritual abode, by any of the spiritual abode, there is no need of coming back to this material world. There is no need. Any abode, because every abode in the spiritual world, Lord is present in his particular form, in a different incarnation. It can be Varaha, it can be Nrsimha, it can be any other Rama or Narayana. So every incarnation of the Lord has his abode. Likewise, Lord Nrsimhadev also. So there is nothing that there is no scriptural reference or anything that those who go to Nrsimhaloka will come down. Those who go to Ayodhya will not come down. No, nothing like that. Any abode in the spiritual world, once we go there, it is again, as Mataji has confirmed, was saying that it depends on the soul's particular relationship. So there is no any scriptural references, or I never heard of from any Maharajas. If you have anything, please share the reference, Mataji.
yeah, I will. Yeah, Prabhu, like long back, Prabhu, it's not now. Okay, so
Definitely it cannot be any Maharaja. Maybe somebody would have told. I don't think any scriptural reference is there for that.
No,
Share something,
no,
please share.
I don't have any scriptural references, of course, Prabhu. But why it is registered, because I'm so much attached to Lord Nrsimhadev. Okay, Prabhu. So and so so like whenever whatever, like of course I chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, everything. Still, first I when I think I'm so much attached to Lord Nrsimhadeva. So I was wondering, like, how is it possible? Like, because that is also a spiritual world. Like, how we'll come back? So that is why it's registered. That's why it's I mean many years ago, maybe 7, 8 years before, I heard this. Okay, but still it is registered to me because this doubt I still have.
If you have any references, please share, Mataji. 100% I'm sure.
Prabhu, you're clear? Hare Krishna? You
Yeah, I can hear,
me?
Mataji. Can you hear me? Haribol?
Yes, Prabhu, lightly
Yeah.
break. Sorry, Prabhu. Yeah. Yes.
No, I am 100% sure that there is no scriptural references for that. Maybe somebody would have told the particular reference that if you worship Lord Nrsimhadev, you may not go to Goloka. You may go to Narsigaloka. That's what you might have told. But not
No,
that.
no. I remember because I asked again. I'll come back. I asked same question to Gaurangi Mataji, Govinda Prabhu also that time. Because they said we'll have to come back.
I
don't have any. Of course, I do not have any scriptural references, Prabhu. Definitely.
Mataji, what is the purpose of Lord's having a separate abode in spiritual world as Nrsimhadev? Nrsimhadev has got his own abode.
Prabhu, just a second. Mataji, I don't think maybe you have misunderstood. It can be possibilities because nobody will say this one. Okay, or the person you listen, he may have misunderstood your question or somewhere where, because it's never mentioned anywhere. And if you still have a doubt, you can write this doubt to send to Mayapur. You can discuss with the Guru Maharaj directly. You will give answer. Then you will be fully satisfied.
The easy way to get response is send an email to
Guru Maharaj and you will.
Maharaj you will get response in 2-3 days time.
Yeah, immediately you will get response. Otherwise, you will be confused. And because one's mind is like that, mind is like monkey. He will always making you confused. So leave it that one. And I have not heard anyone, and because Nrsimha Bhagavan has been always kept for removing our any obstacles for our devotion service. Who removes the devotion service, he cannot be like that. And they say that it cannot be, and
he cannot be obstacle in your devotion.
Yeah. So it cannot be possible. So it practically is not possible. Not so his role according to that. So just take it. And even that Ganesha takes power from him to remove the obstacles on other people's bhakti or whatever they have. So how can he can be obstacle in our devotion service? Or he can hold up
when you say Ganesha, if those who attended the Goloka seminar, remember that even Ganesha has a
power from him.
No, Ganesha has a role in the
place.
spiritual world.
Yes,
but he has no abode.
So this type of confusion, you just write a mail, you will get an answer. And whatever, because otherwise this will not go from your mind. Mind is very monkey. He will just cheat you every time. So just leave it. Okay, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Leave it and worship Lord Nrsimhadev without fear.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, adding to this, one more query just arised. As you said that Lord Ganesha is also having a abode, like which we saw in the Goloka chart also.
I didn't say he's having a abode. I said he has a place.
Place.
Place means he is there in Vaikuntha planet as an associate of the Lord.
Associate of the Nrsimha Lord.
No, he is associate of Lord Narayana. So Lord Narayana has various associates. In that, in that Ganesha is there, even Indra is there, Agni is there. All these demigods have their positions in that abode, but they are not abodes. They are in kind of dikpalakas. So they're guarding the one particular directions. So the Ganesha in spiritual world he is a source of Ganesha in this material world. Ganesha in this material world gets his energy from that Ganesha, and the Ganesha in the spiritual world, he is associate of the Lord. He is not an incarnation of the Lord. He has no abode, but he is an associate of the Lord, personal associate of the Lord.
So my question was, Prabhu, if people who are inclined on Lord Ganesha, slow and steady, they will go to Vaikuntha and join him?
He has no abode. He has no abode there.
Oh, got it, Prabhu. Clear.
And he is not, he is only demigod. He is an associate of the Lord. So after going there, what they will do? They can't worship him because he is not worshipable deity. Whereas if he has abode, then abode has a worshipable deity of that particular Lord. Like Nrsimhadev has worshipable deity in his abode, and they worship him. So Ganesha is only associate. He is not a deity.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, actually I'm so happy, Prabhu, to hear that I am a lover of Rama. From the beginning, so much love about for him. So anybody is telling the Rama first, initially when I was chanting Rama only, why they are telling Krishna? So I was feeling very sad. So now I feel that Rama, whatever you have that affection, you will be there. And so much thanks, Prabhu. You cleared. I'm so happy to hear all these years of 10, 12 years in ISKCON. Now I'm little happy to hear that, okay, that is also possible. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. What an enlightening class. And today it is a coincidence. Hanuman's birthday is there.
Yeah.
So, and also in the slokas we referred, reference came. So it is by chance or it is you planned, Prabhu?
No, Prabhu, nothing is planned.
So good. I think my question was like Her Grace Bhavatarani Mataji was saying on that only. My basic question is like, we came from which place, Prabhuji?
From Telangana or Andhra?
No, not this. Originally, from Goloka only we came, na Prabhu.
We came from spiritual world. That's all. Don't worry about from location. But we go back to.
This is the Prabhu always comes, and this is we have come from the Mahavishnus. And
Prabhu,
who is
Prabhu,
who is making
Dasa,
it
Prabhu.
fulfill? Yeah.
Udarshan Prabhu. This is a topic which Prabhupada never entertains to discuss.
Yeah. Yes.
He says that don't worry about that because there is a